Hi everybody. So I suppose if, like many of us, you've been watching the news this last week, you will no doubt have seen the news that Jacinda Ardern, the New Zealand leader, has stepped down from her role, citing burnout as the reason. And I had a lot of mixed emotions whenever I was reading the news article. First of all, I felt for her as an individual, having suffered from burnout and making that decision. I was also incredibly proud of her as an individual for having made what I felt was quite a brave decision to be so open that she was stepping down for burnout. Because I think that she could so easily have just cited want to spend more time with my family, time to step back, mysterious illness, whatever it might have been. But she actually took the very brave decision to say, no, I'm stepping back because of burnout. And that sends a very clear message, I think, to women all over the world that it's okay for you to prioritize your physical, your mental, and your emotional health and well-being. But at another level, my sadness was quite personal because I myself 14 years ago suffered from burnout. At the time in my life before the body retreat, working in the corporate HR world, I held a variety of different responsible roles. Some involved lots of travel, and I also was quite the expert in stress. But it didn't prevent me as a woman from burning out. When I burnt out, it was literally like a switch was flicked, and I spent 3 months in a private psychiatric hospital working on my mental, my emotional, and also my physical well-being. Of course, it took much longer than those 3 months for me to be fully recovered, and a part of that journey post-burnout was meeting Julie Brealey and coming on board and founding the body retreat. So my life changed entirely, and for me, the outcomes of burnout have been something positive. But to think that I myself 14 years ago was in exactly the same place as Jacinda Ardern and in exactly the same place as millions of women around the world is quite saddening, really, that we haven't progressed any further. When I was a young girl growing up, I was told, and that was back in the 1970s and 80s, I was taught that one day women were going to be able to have it all. You were going to be able to have a family, raise children, be a breadwinner, have exciting professional roles. You could have it all. As I grew up myself into a woman, I realized what they actually meant was I could do it all. I could be the breadwinner, but I also would probably be the primary caregiver. I could have exciting roles that would involve travel, but I would also have the guilt of organizing the household I was leaving behind. Women can do it all, but there is generally something that has to give. Unfortunately, as was my experience, what was giving was my own physical, mental, and emotional health. I was ignoring the signs of burning out, and I ended up at burnout, at the door, lights off, lie down in a dark room, you are unwell. Many women are slightly aware of those signs of burning out. One of the most obvious is when your sleep pattern goes out of balance, when your energy levels through the day go out of balance, when your cravings for things like caffeine, carbonation, and sugar in all its forms go through the roof, when you're really trying to prop up your energy, when you start to find yourself having mood swings, when you feel that your concentration levels aren't as good as they once were. You'll also then start to find some physical symptoms. You might find that you start to get dandruff more often, that you'll have recurring thrush, that you'll feel very dry, tight skin. Your periods might go out of balance if you're still having periods. Your hot flushes might go through the roof if you're in peri or menopause. Lots of both physical and behavioural and emotional signs that you are burning out, that your body is not responding well to the environment that you find yourself in. And that was why when I came out of the hospital 14 years ago and then met Julie Brealey, it felt like kismet, because one of the things that I was very clear with her was I wanted to set up a retreat to support busy professional women just like myself to both recognise burning out, but more importantly, to put in place layer upon layer of resources, both physical, mental, and emotional, to support them to halt the burning out so that no one ended up burnt out and in hospital as I did. And I still feel that way today. 14 years on, to hear this news of Jacinda Ardern was both uplifting in the way that it has made it very mainstream to talk about our mental, physical and emotional health and well-being, but also crushing to think that as busy professional women, we're still there. We are still at danger of burning out, and it doesn't have to be that way. Now, because I'm so passionate to this, I'm going to be sharing over these next couple of weeks a few sort of simple tips and solutions that you can maybe start to put into place to start to be able to support yourself in managing your burning out so you don't end up burnt out. So look out for those. And if, as you have any questions, please feel free to email me, DM me, or leave me a comment below. Take care now. Bye-bye.